All right, guys. All right, guys. How you doing? Let me fix something up real quick. I uh, I really enjoyed the fact that so many of you decided to share the stream and started to, watch my streams. I really do appreciate that because I'm going to put a lot of work into this stuff, and I just want to welcome you to another edition of the Pitchfork podcast. I am having fun right now, man. Again, it's a lot of drama that was happening with my life and everything else, but now that that's kind of calming down considerably, I think that it's just gotten back to content, and once it gets back to content, man, you know, I just you can see my passion, you can see what I love to do. So, anyways, guys, we're gonna have a full show today. Absolutely fantastic show. We got plenty of bad cop stories. Um, Cops are just, boy, it's like they're trying to be bad. I mean, they are going out of their way. They are going for gold, baby. There's no silver medalists, no bronze medalists here, baby. All right, only gold and platinum. That's actually a fourth podium. The fourth podium is called Bad Cop Heaven. All right, that's platinum. Bad Cop Heaven. All right. So let's go review some cops who went for gold or platinum. Mostly gold. No bronze, no silver here. All right. There's no nickel and diamond here. These boys are the. They are the Usain Bolts of corruption. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I'm gonna tell you right from the beginning, you're in for quite a treat. These treats are gonna be delicious. These treats are kind of be like the treats that my dog like to eat. Just delicious. Scrumptious. And I want you all to realize that these are the kind of stories that I cover on the regular. And that Blue Lives Matter will spend more time lecturing me versus the people who they say are bad cops. And that should tell you quite a bit. That should make your eyes open. That should make your antennas just go, why is that? Why is it so straight? Why is it that it's so much easier to focus on a man who's simply talking about stories versus the stories themselves? And when you do that, I want you to go to dictionary and look up the word deflection. There's no reason. I'm just telling you, look up the word deflection. Look it up. Just ponder it. Like the game of Magic, the Gathering. That there's a card in there called Ponder. Just tap one blue mana, tap one island, and play Ponder. Look on top of your library. Find the card you want. Pass turn. We've reached parody levels when I can make Magic the Gathering references to bad cops. That's how you know cops is just ass and trash. Ass trash. Ass trash. That's a new term. I've coined several. Swinery, murder pig, and ass trash. And we're going to discuss some ass trash cops today. So let's go ahead and get to some ass trash cops. All right, so 3 Oakland officers fired for 2018 police shooting found law enforcement jobs elsewhere, record show. So, wow. Interesting. I'm sure Blue Lives Matter is going to cover this. Listen. The good folks at Blue Lives Matter, they care about you, the American citizen. Okay? Let's go ahead and record. All right. This bad cop no donut comes from California. It's a follow-up to a story that I've already covered, but I want to get into more detail here. This is coming from the Oakland side. It's from Oakland, California. 3 Oakland police officers fired for 2018 police shooting found law enforcement jobs elsewhere, record show. The news comes as Governor Gavin Newsom signed 2 bills on Thursday meant to keep officers who commit serious misconduct from jumping to other agencies. So this is a follow-up because there's an Oakland police officer who was fired in 2018 for a shooting And then it was found out that this guy had an Instagram page with all sorts of racist and sexist memes, and that more than 30 officers followed that page, with an additional 8 to 9 Oakland police officers who also followed that page. But 13 of them in total were disciplined because of that page. Now, with that being said, this actually shows you that in that same calendar year, you had 3 other officers who found jobs elsewhere, while you also had an officer who had an Instagram page where a significant amount of your cops were following. And it turns out that the problem with corruption and police officers just shooting people is a lot bigger than what people want to admit to, especially Blue Lives Matter. Now, I guarantee you, for talking about this case, I'm going to get more shit and the cops who did this, right? I guarantee you. 3 of the 5 Oakland police officers fired for the fatal shooting of Joshua Paulick found law enforcement jobs in other agencies, according to the state employment records for peace officers obtained by the Oakland side. The officers resurfaced in the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, the Solano County Sheriff's Office, and Emeryville Police Department. The State Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training provided the records to the Oakland side in response to a Public Records Request Act on Wednesday, a day before Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law 2 bills designed to keep officers who commit serious misconduct from being hired by other law enforcement agencies. So again, it is very, very interesting that they gave that information up just around the time that Gavin Newsom had signed that bill. They had all these years. It happened in 2018. That's 3 years. That is almost an Olympics. That's 3 NBA finals. That's 3 Super Bowls. That's 3 years of you being married to that same bitch, or you being married to that same motherfucker. Okay? That's a long time. I mean, Green Day 75 will be singing, "Wake me up when September ends." Not once, not twice, but thrice. Okay? All that time, we didn't get these records. Oh my God, why is that? Why do you think that is? And why do you think that these other police departments who their main job is to do background searches and make sure that criminals aren't being in these positions? So how did they get these jobs? Did they know? Of course they did. Of course, I guarantee you, I would bet my life on it, baby, that they knew about this shooting in 2018, and yet they still hired these cops. Why is that? Because cops are bastards. Never ask me again why cops are bastards when this kind of shit happens. That's going to be a great video. That's going to be a great video. I made sure I recorded that, and my girlfriend sitting across the room from me, she's looking at me in my face. She's like, she was busting out laughing. Because here's the thing. I don't script anything that I do. I don't script anything that I do. Everything that I do is live. And she'll tell you, if you can see my screen, there's no script here. It's just, I ad-lib extremely well. I freestyle extremely well. It's why I could be a rapper. I just choose not to be. I could be in radio. I choose not to be. Because I don't want to sell out. I know I can make a lot of money off of what I do, because not a lot of people can do what I do. But it was never about money for me or position or power. It's always about the message. This is why it doesn't matter if I got 1 subscriber or 1 million. You notice that I put out content because I love doing it. So when you love something, you're not working. You're just having fun. And I enjoy showing you why cops are trash. Trust me. Oh my God. There's nothing in my life that brings me more joy, that gives me more of a hard on. I mean, I wake up in the morning, boy, my slong be hanging. I look forward to shitting on cops, okay? I look forward to it. So when someone has this kind of passion, it's not hard for them to ad-lib or just give you something off the freaking dome. It's not very hard. By the way, guys, I have a new GeForce GTX. You should notice the frame rates on my camera is much better. So whenever I get a crash on my stream, it's no longer my machine, baby. Because this machine is, oh my God, amazing. Okay, it makes me horny. I love it. All right, I want to make love to it, but machine and human love, that's way too progressive. Oh Lord. All right, let's get into the next story, man. I'm being a silly goose. I'm being a silly goose. No, I don't want that. Um, that yeah, you are seeing that correctly on your screen. You probably looking like, wait, are we getting to that? Yeah, we getting to that, man. We getting to that. Oh my God. Yeah, boy. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But remember, guys, I'm the problem here. I've just covered rapist cops every day for the past 9 fucking days in a row. But I'm the problem here. Okay. Hey. Sorry. That's my girl. That's my dog down there. She's probably coughing up a hairball. She cleans herself and she sheds a lot. So anyways, let's get into the next story, man. This is that one was wild, I gotta say. All right, this is coming from the Sun, man. Coming from the Lowell Sun, and I've covered this story already, but it's an update, and I want to get into this because it's a horrific story. Don't get me wrong, but it's an eye opener. You know, it makes your antennas go up. I mean, hell, at this point, my antennas is much bigger than a cockroach. It's more like a butterfly now. Just, whenever I see a bad cop story, my antennas just start spilling. Just start spilling. So, if you can dig it, let's go ahead and get into the next story. So, this coming from the Lowell Sun. February trial slated for Lowell police officer accused of raping teen. Let's go ahead and record this crazy wild story. Yeah, it's getting like that. All right, so this story comes from the Lowell Sun. February trial slated for a Lowell police officer accused of raping teen. Another story like this. This is the 9th day in a row where I've covered a story like this. Unbelievable. But remember, guys, I'm the problem. I'm the monster here. Okay, I'm the monster. Not this cop here. All right, I'm the monster. I am raw ooga booga. Ooga booga. Okay. The trial of a Lowell police officer accused of raping a 16-year-old homeless girl several years ago is scheduled to begin on February 24th in Middlesex Superior Court. Kevin Garnier, 52, charged with 2 counts of rape, faces up to 20 years in prison for both charges if convicted. So apparently, this guy was a part of the community opioid outreach program, and so it's a collaboration between EMS, the fire department, and the police department there in Lowell, and they are supposed to go out and help people who are having an opioid crisis, or who are overdosing, who might be addicts, who might just want to get their life straight, who wants to get counseling, go through the 12 steps program. So these people are in desperate need and they are vulnerable. And so you had a police officer, this piece of shit here, Kevin Garnier, who raped a 16-year-old girl, and she was homeless. She needed help. She needed counseling. She needed someone to love her, to care for her. Many of these homeless girls are raped constantly. They are addicts, and they have pimps who use the fact that they are addicts to go out there and turn tricks to make that pimp money. Okay, so this officer was probably seen as a hero and a savior and a safe haven and a safe space for this girl. And for this officer to do this to this girl, do you understand what you've just done to her? You've made her probably not trust cops ever again, which, to be honest with you, very good idea. Oh, but also she's probably gonna have a hard time trusting men. A hard time trusting people who are supposed to help her, like EMS, because this guy worked with the EMS in the fire department. So now she's gonna have a tough time trusting EMS if she is having a crisis, or if she is overdosing, or she does wake up in a freaking hospital, or she does end up in a freaking correction facility, and EMS has to actually come and help her. She's now gonna doubt if they're gonna help her, because now she has to wonder if they're coming to help her or rape her. See, this is why I get so passionate I get so angry when I get people in my comment sections talking shit, ask me all the time, why are you focusing so much about cops? Excuse me, motherfucker. Why are you not talking about this goddamn story? Did you not hear this shit? It's a 16-year-old homeless girl who was raped by a damn cop who's facing up to 20 years in goddamn prison, and you are talking to me about why I'm talking about it. Here's my question. Why the fuck are you not talking about it? That could have been your damn daughter. But the same people who are sitting there saying, well, you always talking about cops. You always talk about cops. Can't shut the fuck up about goddamn Gabby goddamn Patino. But then all of a sudden, when a cop is accused of doing the exact same thing that we probably know happened to goddamn Gabby, suddenly it doesn't fucking matter. Stop talking about it. You transmogrify into goddamn Elsa for goddamn Frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Shit. Unbelievable. I'm talking about the story. Have you heard Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, Anthony Brian Logan, Tim Pool, you name it, the goddamn conservative twins, Steven Crowder, Tucker goddamn Carlson, Matt Gaetz. Have you heard any of these motherfuckers talk about this story? Don't worry, I'll wait, baby. Oh my God, I'll wait. I'll be like goddamn Green Day 75. Wake me up when goddamn September ends. Shit. Let me know. Have you heard shit from them about this story? A goddamn thing. I bet you haven't. And you should ask why. You should ask why. Why have you not heard a damn thing from these people about this story? You don't find that strange? You don't find it strange that it's so much easier to talk shit to me than it is to talk shit about a cop who abuses people? I find it strange. I feel like Jesus Christ Superstar. It seems to me a strange thing. Yeah, it's a very, very strange thing. Very strange thing. It's a I'm gonna use a word that I don't usually use. It's a quinky dink, a real quinky dink. Strange how I talk about these stories, but these people talk about where are the children and Pizzagate and all this shit. But when children are actually raped by cops, then suddenly it's no longer Pizzagate. It's maybe, I don't know, Pizza Roll Gate. It just diminishes in importance or even relevance. But you care about children. You care about Gabby. You care about children being born. You care about human trafficking, because you mention that shit all the time. Well, Trump, he went after human traffickers. You bring that shit up constantly. But then suddenly when I start talking about a cop, and I have spent 9 days in a fucking row mentioning at least one story on average where a cop is doing this. And I've been doing this shit for years now. But suddenly, when I do this kind of stories, you don't want me to talk about it? Some might say that would kind of explain why most of the Catholic Church votes for your candidates. I know that burns, but I mean, you always say facts don't care about your feelings, right? Well, those are just facts. I mean, you can't really talk around that. I've met Catholic Democrats, just not a whole lot of them, okay? So let's not... those Catholic priests, they're Catholics, and they're also citizens. And they come from somewhere. And if most Catholics tend to vote Republican, well... and the pedophiles are coming from your ranks... You see how simple that logic is? You see how simple that is? Very simple logic. It works every time because it's hard to get around. It's hard to counter. Very hard to counter. Let's get into some more stories though. I mean, I just, this is kind of like a McDonald's day. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So this is coming from the New York Times, and I'm gonna tell you that is a real headline. I'm in love with this headline. This headline, I could have sex with. I could genuinely make love to this headline. This headline says, officers who pledge loyalty to Oath Keepers should be fired, mayor says. That is a fucking Onion article title. That means that New York City has fucking Oath Keepers who has pledged loyalty to the Oath Keepers who are wearing a badge right now. Right? According to a report, an actual study that looked into that. You know what an Oath Keeper is? Oath Keepers are a loose combination of citizens. Some of them are former military, allegedly current military. Some of them law enforcement, fire department. Some of them are EMS, even though those numbers are relatively few. And they are a militia group, a paramilitary militia group who trains. They buy body armor, they buy weapons, they buy all that stuff, and they are an enemy of the U.S. government as far as the U.S. government is concerned, because many members of the Oath Keeper were at the January 6th riot, and also on top of that, they are essentially anarchists. I mean, when you think about what their end game is, they won't say that, but you look at their whole end game, then yeah. So this is why I kind of have a love-hate relationship between them. I don't hate them. I just wish they weren't racist shits. And I wish they weren't a good bit of them cops. Because anybody who wants to go against the U.S. government, I don't have no fucking quarrel like with you. Personally, this country was built on damn, rebellion. So I will be historically ignorant to be against somebody who's against the government. But if you also racist, it's like, well, fuck you too, Or you also got a bunch of cops, then fuck them too. I mean, I can't dig that, man. I can't do it. I just can't. I want to. I just can't. I just can't. Sorry. But I tell you what I can do. I can get into the story. Score and record. All right, so this comes from New York. This comes from the New York Times. Officers who pledge loyalty to Oath Keepers should be fired, mayor says. So, a report into active duty New York police officers found that there were plenty of cops in New York who were associated with militia groups, but mainly the Oath Keepers. And that was amazing. That was incredible. Do you know who the Oath Keepers are? They are a paramilitary group who's loosely associated with some military, prior military, especially combat veterans. Unfortunately, there's some EMS people, there's some firemen, there's some citizens, but they are a combination of, a kind of hodgepodge of people who have vowed to go against the U.S. government, and there's also spread some conspiracies about the government that may or may not be true. You can make your own mind up with that. And they have been known to be anarchists who are very much anti-government, but also a far-right group who caters to police officers and even the worst elements of it, and even some of the worst elements of racism. So with that being said, Bill de Blasio, he's got a problem on his hands. He's sitting there talking about Kyrie Irving and, the freaking jab. Well, my thing is, this is basically the reason why me and Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN guy, why we both said that before you worry about Kyrie Irving, getting that jab, how about you put some concern into your police officers getting that jab? But not only that, put some concern into your police officers who are terrorists, who are domestic terrorists, right? So the WNYC and Gothamist reported this week that at least 2 active duty New York police officers had associated with the Oath Keepers, a militia group whose members participated in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. So basically, not only are they terrorists, they have engaged in direct terrorism, and that should make you really, really concerned, because that means that at any given point, any officer in New York City could be a terrorist, could be an Oath Keeper. How do you know that they're not? Because this was happening on Bill de Blasio's watch. This is happening on Andrew Cuomo's watch, which thank goodness he's gone. But this is basically happening on the Democratic Party's watch. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a nonpartisan channel. I can't stand Republicans, But fuck Democrats because they have not gotten rid of qualified immunity yet. So bottom line is they can get this shit too. So this happened on Joe Biden's watch, happens on freaking Democrats' watch. You have oath keepers in the NYPD. So people of New York City, good luck with that. Raise hell. Get terrorists off of your damn police force, or there's gonna be some bad consequences, man. I would hate to see what's gonna happen if those guys stay on duty and with the goddamn badge. That's amazing. I'm in love with that story. I want that story to come home with me and marry me. All right. That's what I want that story to do. So, we got another story here. Oops, nope. Here we go. Oh man. That one I may cover. Wow. So there's a few stories here I want to cover, but there was one that I saw. And I see I placed it in a 24-hour time window right there. There was one story I saw that I wanted to cover so badly. So that was the one right there. But there was another. There's another that I saw that I want to get into. And I think I might have closed out that. But let's see. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I gotta find it. Because if I can find that, that is beautiful. Let's see. Give me a quick second. I think that was the one right there. So there's one right there. I'm gonna give you guys a link to. I want you to read that on your own. I want you just to check that out on your own. This is from the Port of Seattle. I've already recorded that, but I want to kind of give you guys that. Now, here's one. Oops. No. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and use archive.is on this because it's giving me a paywall. So I'm gonna go ahead and get across that. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and cover this story real quick because I want to get this one just out of the way. And this story is kind of funny, but not funny for what happened, but funny for the justification for what they gave for this. That was amazing to me. All right, so this story comes from Connecticut. So there's a police officer who decided to play whack-a-mole with a citizen, punched him in the head several times, and apparently a panel who's supposed to oversee police officer use of force just cleared him. Just say, hey, that it was not unreasonable. That not what happened. Well, apparently, the New Haven, Connecticut Civilian Review Board said, hey, that doesn't sound right. So they decided to investigate, and they find that this officer decided to go and punch a man in the head several times because the man was accused of trespassing. The officer's name is Justin Cole, and it was during a January arrest that the police officials claimed that his actions were, quote, reasonable and not excessive, end quote, because the man fought with the officers, and that an independent use of force expert, right, claimed that there was no excessive force here. Now, mind you, these independent experts, do you remember the whole George Floyd trial? You remember that guy who had that little mustache? He was talking about, use of force and everything else, and he was hired by the Minneapolis Police Department, also the defense of Derek Chauvin. You see how far he was willing to go to say how somebody was resisting. He claimed that somebody could be passively resisting, even if they're not actively fighting. Passively resisting. It's like you had officers claiming that somebody was passively resisting by trying to clear their airway after the officer was choking them so that they could breathe. That's what they claim that passively resisting or resisting arrest is. So with that being said, are you very interested to see what this use of force expert calls excessive and what they define as reasonable? And this shows you that when civilian review boards, when the people actually would start reviewing the actions of these damn pigs across the country. I mean, as far as Connecticut, I've been covering stories from all over the damn country. But when you get review boards, people who push out the government, review boards who are given power, who are given clout, who are given authority over these pigs, do you see what happens? People start looking back at actions and say, hey, that wasn't right. That officer should have been fired or at the very least disciplined, but we would prefer fired. But something. And I guarantee you, had this civilian review board in New Haven not existed, you would have not heard about the story, and it would have been swept under the rug. And a civilian would have been abused with no one to hold them accountable. No one to hold the cops there accountable whatsoever. Hats off to the New Haven Civilian Review Board. Good work. Keep up the good work. All right, so there we go. So we reviewed that one. I was going to cover that one because I want to kind of go into the aspect of civilian review boards. I think that it's a great idea, personally, because you see what happens when you start implementing that, right? You take the power from the cops and the politicians and the freaking judges, and you put it directly in the hands of citizens. You say, fuck judges. Say, nope, we're not going to go to court. We're going to have civilian review boards that can fire you on the goddamn spot. Period. Nope. No wrongful termination suits. You try to sue for that, you just lose. You should sign up to become a police officer, and in your contract should be, at any given point, the civilian review board, if they find any reason to fire you, even if it's not justified, you can't do shit about it. And that should be a condition for employment, because guess what? We already do that in this country. Do you know what it's called? It's called right to work. We do it in a good bit of states, don't we? Good bit of states, don't we? So, I bet not hear shit, right? Right? Because if I hear complaining, then what that means is, what that would tell me is that the people who usually talk about free market capitalism and we don't want to force employers to do this and do that and my business, right? What that would tell me is that your message was never about any of that, and that you're a bootlicker. See, I don't want to assume that, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Hypothetical person. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. That I promise you I will do. That I will do. That I will do. All right, so I got an archive link right here for you. Here we go. So we got an archive link here for you, and you're gonna like this story. Before we get into that story, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta get some more water. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right. Man, oh man. Boy. I really wanted to cover this story. This story, this is what I want right here. All right, so this bad cop, no donut. Special one here. It's coming from the Columbus Dispatch, so in Ohio. So this guy's name is Theodore Decker. Officers in corruption probe have much in common with those they arrested. So this guy's basically accusing the cops of being as bad as the criminals, right? So in early 2020, a man named Oswaldo Pedraza Vasquez was arrested on charges that he was moving large amounts of drugs through town. And so that was the claim. All right. The Columbus police officer who filed the charges on Pedraza Vasquez was, according to municipal court records, John K. Kochkoski. And it turns out that when you look into Kochkoski, who's 33, and also another officer named Marco Marino, who's 44, they were both arrested by the FBI following a drug investigation. So, and then, so you can kind of see where this guy is going, right? Theodore Decker, he's kind of throwing it down because these two officers were charged with dealing 7.5 kilos of fentanyl, right? So both of them are charged 7.5 kilos. Do you understand how much fentanyl that is, bro? That's not a little bit. That's enough to get a whole safari high, okay? And then Marino, he was taking bribes because he wanted to help, protect the game, protect the hustlers. So he was trying to protect the deliveries of the cocaine. So you look at the overall pattern of that department and how they're arresting people and how they're charging people with crimes. What you don't want to happen is officers arresting people for one thing, and then the very thing that they actually arrest people on, they are charged with, because then it makes you wonder, were they trying to arrest their competition? Now, I'm just asking questions out loud. I know the implications of that, but not only were those officers arrested, but you had at least 12 Columbus officers arrested since 2019. All right. Since 2019, 12 of them have faced criminal charges in just 2 years. Do you understand how crazy that is? And you also had 2 officers moving 7.5 kilos and arresting their competition. Listen, Theodore Decker, hats off to you. I don't blame you, brother. All right. I get it. You are feeling the exact same frustration that I'm feeling. You're feeling it. All right. You're feeling it. This shit is getting comical now. And Blue Lives Matter, they just defend cops without even thinking, without even using a damn brain. Do you understand what this is suggesting? You got gang members with damn badges who are not only acting like gang members, but they are also eliminating competition. They are playing Grand Theft Auto in real life. We have reached parody fucking levels, folks. Parody fucking levels. And Blue Lives Matter can't help but suck that cop peen. Theodore Decker, I salute you. Good work. Keep it up. Damn. God damn. That man's frustrated. That man's frustrated. I feel you, man. I feel you, bro. I feel you on a spiritual level, bro. I feel you, brother. You might be white, but we are brothers. All right, because we are in the same wavelength, baby. I'm sick of these damn pigs, too. Holy shit. It's getting to the point where they are playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online on a massive freaking role-playing game. They are playing Grand Theft Auto in real damn life. We have reached that level, folks. When we say that they are gang members with damn badges, well, shit. They even have uniforms and got them colors. I mean, shit. They even got them call signs. They even shoot people. They deal drugs. They rape women. They rape kids. I mean, shit. What more do you need to see? What more needs to be damn demonstrated to show you that these are gang members with damn badges? I mean, I'm gonna redo that one more time, man. I'm gonna redo that one more time because I want that to be more concrete. I want people to hear that message, man. All right, so this bad cop no donut comes from Ohio. This comes from the Columbus Dispatch. So this man here, Theodore Decker, he's a journalist, and he is frustrated. He feels me on a spiritual level because, as you can see, he's about to go in on damn cops. Officers in corruption probe have much in common with those they arrested. Now, what does he mean by that? You've had 2 officers who were arrested for dealing 7.5 kilos of fentanyl, who also arrested, and one of those officers in 2020 arrested a man because the man was allegedly moving large amounts of drugs around. And so that's very ironic that Oswaldo Pedraza Vasquez would arrest a man for doing so when him and his buddy and so that man's name was Oswaldo Pedraza Vasquez. And so it's very ironic that he was arrested, right? when it turns out that one of the officers who actually arrested him, right? His name was John Kochkowski, and another officer named Marco Marino. They were both arrested by the FBI during a drug investigation. And they were moving 7.5 kilos of fentanyl. And Marino, in particular, he was taking bribes to help protect the deliveries of cocaine. So Kochkowski arrested Pedrazzi. So Kochkowski actually arrested another man for moving drugs, and some might say that was a gang member's attempt at eliminating competition. These two officers are drug dealers who were arresting other drug dealers. So if we know that you are an active drug dealer and you are arresting other drug dealers, wouldn't that be eliminating your competition, right? The other strange thing is that these two cops are 2 out of 12 who's been arrested on criminal charges since 2019 from the Columbus Police Department. So you can see why, Theodore Decker is upset. He's frustrated. I feel this man. On a spiritual level, I feel this man. So we're going to move on to the story. I just want to get 2 takes with that. That way, if I got to edit anything in, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. So there's more stories I want to cover here. I'm trying to find the story that there's the story I keep seeing right here. Wow. 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 So this story is going to be a messed up one. This story is going to be a messed up one. So this story is going to be kind of a sad one. This one's coming from California. A California teen mom shot by school safety officer to be taken off life support. Manuela Rodriguez, 18, was a passenger in the car the officer actually fired at, Long Beach police said. So this is from the Long Beach Police Department. Once again, they've been in the news quite a bit lately. And basically, what happened was there was a fight at a school, and Manuela Rodriguez was fighting a 15-year-old girl who's right now unidentified, and the officer intervened. She hopped into a car that was occupied by an 18-year-old boy and another 16-year-old boy, and the officer claimed that they were involved in the assault, whatever that means. And basically, long story short, the officer goes to the passenger side of the vehicle and then draws his weapon and open fires. And his bullets hit Manuela Rodriguez, who was on life support, and now she's being taken off of life support. She's a teenage mother, and she's going to die. She's going to die. Her child is going to be without her mother. And this officer wanted to fire at this vehicle because these kids were running away from a fight. They weren't shooting at people. They weren't stabbing people. A fight. Even the NBA, they've set rules, whereas you can't lean into defenders to get like a foul, right? That's essentially the police version of what this officer did. He put himself on the passenger side of that vehicle so that he could justify shooting at that vehicle and killing someone. That way he can earn his first kill. You know, to many cops, it's like Grand Theft Auto. You know, it's just like a video game. That's how they see the American people. They look at them as numbers. You know, it's kind of hard to work around inmates for so long and not eventually see every citizen like numbers. The same way you see inmates. And so this young girl who just got into a fight. She got into a fight. She has a 5-month-old baby who's without her mother now. She is an organ donor, so that's not really anything to kind of like constellate like what happens, but it is unbelievable that officers think that it's okay to just shoot at vehicles, especially when they are in no real danger. So this girl will die, and her baby will never know who her mother is, at least not in person. So Blue Lives Matter, I would love your comment on this story because your silence is deafening. Yeah, that was a pretty sad one, man. That was a pretty sad one. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, man. That was a pretty sad one. I didn't think that was gonna be as sad as it was, and I kind of took my time with that way when I edit everything together. It's all gonna be good in one take. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me for the stream today, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you guys like the stream, make sure you hit the like button, hit share button, make sure you share the stream with other people. Until next time, guys. Horns up, peace out, good night, and good luck.